Now broadcasting on your favorite podcast platform, it's the Maverick Do It Different podcast with your host, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. When you want to step up and dare to be different, when you will dare to be great and live up to your fullest potential, when you are ready to dare to be a maverick and live the life of your dreams, filled with abundance, passion, and joy, then it's time to listen to me, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and the Maverick Do It Different podcast. Welcome to the Maverick Do It Different podcast, where we highlight how to step up and dare to live the life of your dreams and how to approach life and business differently than you ever have before. I'm your host, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and today we have, a special guest, one of the authors in our upcoming Volume 3 of Be a Success Maverick, How Ordinary People Do It Different to Achieve Extraordinary Results. This is published by the Maverick Millionaire Publishing House, and our author today, coach, practice management expert with over 30 years experience in the tax industry, founder of Beyond 415 Tax Coaching, Demi teaches tax professionals how to create the life and practice they want. The Beyond 415 National Tax Summit and the Tax Preparer Support Group are just two of Demi's creations that gave her a platform for nurturing, educating, and helping thousands of tax professionals across the world think beyond the deadline and explode their business. I want to please welcome Demi Woodson to the podcast. Demi, welcome and thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It is absolute pleasure. Demi and I go a few years back. We've known each other for a while, so it's a great pleasure to be interviewing her today. Wanted to talk to you about some of your experience. Now, you have obvious success in everything that you're doing, especially the last several years have just been exploding for you. How long have you been on what I would call this journey, and when did things really start changing for you?
So I'd say 32 years is the journey thus far, but the real part of this has been in the last couple of years. So about 2 weeks into what I call my life-changing experience is when I really started to see things shift. So the first stage was that kind of that mindset shift. And once I started to open my eyes, that's when things really started to take off. And that was about 2 years ago.
When you say open your eyes, what do you mean?
I've been doing this for such a long time. You fall into patterns of thinking things in one particular direction, in one way. And you don't necessarily see a different path to it because this is the way it's always been done. And so you think if you're on that path, you're going to continue to move forward. And granted, to some degree you do, but it's a lot of little baby steps and a lot of, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Right.
So opening your mind to a different way to think, a different way to do things was where things really started to shift.
Start seeing opening up an awareness of how the world works and how you operate within it. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, but it's not even so much how the world works, because I think the world works in oftentimes in one way. Like, this is the way it goes. This is the way you do, which is why the counterintuitive approach is not necessarily how the whole world thinks.
Right.
And so that's a big part of it for me, I think.
Yeah. So the world does work in other ways that we just don't see. So it is opening up and taking the blinders off, if you will. And so neat. Others have had similar experience where they've gone along and they've been operating in one way or another. And then all of a sudden they have a revelation going, oh, wait a second, I could do things differently. I could do things another way. What do you believe you did differently to create the new results? that you've been getting? What was it? Was it a particular action, a particular thought? What are you doing differently?
Oh my gosh. Well, my entire life is different. So it's hard to pinpoint everything down to one thing other than to learn how to open my mind instead of saying, no, it won't work because of this.
Right.
I started taking a step back and going, okay, well, what if I did something different? What if I did this differently? How would that look? And once I started to think that way, then it became a matter of implementing. Because that's my big thing, is that it doesn't matter what your thought process is. If you don't take the next step and actually implement and move on what your thought process is, you get nowhere. So that's a huge deal for me.
Yeah. So applying what your new thought process is, putting it into action. So as you started saying, well, what if I thought this way? What if I did this? How did that change your results? How did that change what was going on in your business, for instance, and you're working with your clients and how did it change everything?
Oh, it opens a new thought process completely to do this. And it didn't change a whole lot with how we were running the tax business. But at the same time, we were launching this coaching program. And the way I had originally set it up was I was looking at it from a perspective of how would somebody else do this. And that was the first step in me opening my mind, was to start looking at that differently. And if I did this different than other people do it, what would this look like? And when I did that, I took this, because we have a family owned and operated business, and my parents have been doing this far longer than I have. And it was always about what they could do and not about my expertise and what I knew and what I could do. And so when I started looking at it differently, all of a sudden the pieces started to click, and I started to see what value I had and the knowledge base I had. And that was the very foundation. And once I saw that, it started to develop this program where I started coaching and teaching other people what I do. And it's kind of taken off from there. And the way that's affected the tax business is I run it differently. Well, I run it. Whereas before I was kind of behind pushing it, and now I'm at the front end and I'm pulling it and growing it and expanding it, because my mindset has shifted. So while the business on that end hasn't changed dramatically, the way I operate and the way I think is completely different.
Yeah. One of the things that I really fuels me internally is how I know my efforts when I stepped up so many years ago, the results of my stepping up meant that I'm connected to people like you and connected to people all around the world that I've helped change their world. And now you're doing the same thing. You've created this coaching program out of from the ground up, totally self-made.
Yep.
Tell me about who you're helping and how you're helping them now.
So I work with tax professionals all over the world, mostly the States, but I have quite a few members in my Facebook group from other countries as well who work on tax returns here. And so it's just small businesses, larger businesses, but they all do what I do in the tax field. Well, not what I do, but tax preparation. That's why what I do is so valuable, is because tax preparers don't necessarily understand the business aspect, where I specialize in business growth and development, specifically in tax practices. And it's a huge need out there. People don't understand how to market their business, how to set up processes and procedures, how to take control of their own business instead of allowing their clients to control it. And so that's what I do, is I teach people that. So and it's grown tremendously over the last couple of years. What's Yes.
What's your vision of where you're going to take this?
It's going so fast. So I've gone, I have a Facebook group, which is kind of where it all started from,
Right.
which when I started this, it was about 400 people, give or take.
Yeah.
It's now over 6,000 people and continues to grow on a daily basis.
Awesome.
And the platform itself is an amazing opportunity to reach people all over the country and help them. And to give them a place of support, which in our industry, so many people are either solopreneurs or very small businesses and don't have that support. So this offers that platform to them.
That's awesome.
Yes, and we did our first live event this last month, and in the midst of COVID and IRS deadline changing, we still had a great group of people that showed up from all over the country. Next year, we're going to do 2 of them. Awesome. We're looking to add additional one-day workshops and do some more teaching across the country, as well as online education opportunities as well for those who can't travel. So just continuing to grow. On the tax side of things, we have 2 office locations right now. In 2023, we will open our first additional tax office. So we have a tax office and a coaching office, and we'll have a second tax office this next year to feed the needs of the people near the Mexican border who are lacking quality advice and preparation. So
important.
Yes.
Yeah, really neat. Great watching your success. Great watching all that you're accomplishing now in your world. And it's great to see how you're able to create this great business structure and give back all at the same time and create opportunities for others. So huge kudos to you. Huge kudos to what you've done. Now, I do want to highlight, you are in the book. Mm-hmm. You've written a chapter. Give us what should we be expecting in your chapter? Give us a takeaway from it.
Probably the best takeaway I could say to sum it all up is no man's an island. Even though I work with my family, I often felt like I was alone in the process of trying to change the shape of the business and where I was going. And so we continue to struggle on the same treadmill. And I got a coach, and that changed everything in the world for me. And so now that's my position to do for somebody else. It's an amazing feeling, but it's all about finding the help and moving on that.
Yeah. It's a great message for entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. So many of them feel that same way, that they're alone, that they're isolated, and they don't know who or what to turn to. Mm-hmm. And for that assistance. And a great message. Awesome message. And proud to be a part of your world and to be one of those people in your life as your coach to guide you. It's been a great honor.
Thank you. Well, it's like I said, it's changed my life. And it's in all aspects. So it's not just, my business and the coaching practice, but it's changed my personal life, my outlook, my confidence, my appearance, just about everything in my life. It's
amazing. One of the things that I talk a lot about is that we have one life, and we've discussed this before, and that concept of one life is that one thing connects to another, that it's all interplayed. And when you build up yourself in one area of your life, other areas will follow. And it's what you've been doing across the board, and everything's falling in place for you. And it's really great to watch.
It's even better to live it.
So I have one key question.
Okay.
Are you a Maverick?
Oh, yes, I am a Maverick.
Yes, I am. All right. We want to go right to our lightning round. Quick responses is all I'm looking for. Are you ready?
I think so.
The book you would recommend?
E-Myth.
E-Myth. Excellent. Favorite movie?
Probably Princess Bride. Classic.
Princess Bride. Interesting. Great choice. All
The
right.
family favorite. Yeah.
Favorite singer or band?
Oh, that one's too hard to pick one. It depends on my mood.
Give me two.
Oh my gosh, I can't even pick two. I know I like Meghan Trainor and 21 Pilots, but I also love a lot of the classic rock stuff. Lindsey Sterling, if I'm going for more of a classical feel, or two cellos, just across the board.
Awesome.
Just depends on my mood.
Diverse woman. I love that.
Very.
Biggest passion?
Teaching.
You're fulfilling that now. No question.
Put me on stage one time and look what happened. I'm an addict. I love it. I love to get out there and do it.
Yeah, awesome. I understand that. Final words of wisdom to share with our listeners.
Well, you took my one line. So it's all about one life. That's a huge piece of things for me to make sure I know that it's all hand in hand. I can't be a parent. I can't be a business owner. I can't be a coach, all on its own. Everything is all connected. And that's a huge thing for me. And the other piece that I would give, since you already kind of talked about that one life, is get a coach. Open your mind and then implement.
Yeah. And you know, we coach on obviously two very different things and for different people. And yet the idea that it's not even just one coach, that oftentimes there are multiple coaches depending on different subsets of what's going on in your world, whether you get a nutritional coach or a mental coach or a yoga coach or tax business coach. And so it's definitely reach out for the expertise and the support systems to bring to your table.
Exactly. I could not do this on my own.
Yeah.
I tried for years, and it was like the hamster wheel, and every now and then I would make a little bit of progress, but the last 2 years after finding somebody as a coach to take me to that next level, it's just been amazing. It's transformed everything. So
absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
This has been awesome. This has been great. You are amazing, Demi Woodson. It's been just a real pleasure. We've actually known each other for, has it been 7?
I think it's 7 years now.
7
Yeah.
years. Yeah, just amazing. Looking forward to the next 7, 14, 21, and let's just keep going, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I want all of you to know, you want to reach Demi, you want to connect up with her. We're going to have all the information and all the ways to connect with her right here, right in the description. So you're going to be able to grab hold and really get clear with all your needs, wants, and desires. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, hosting this episode of the Maverick Do It Different podcast, where we do it different. Till next time, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Thanks for listening to Paul Finck. That's me, the Maverick Millionaire, and the Maverick Do It Different podcast. You can listen to us anytime, 24/7 on your podcast listening platform of choice. Introduce us to your friends, give us 5-star rating, and subscribe, and share us across all your social media platforms to anyone that could really utilize this message right now. Till next time, everyone.